Hi, everybody. I was just looking at week one discussion forum posts today. I looked at them earlier in the week, but I look at them as far as when I was going through and grading them. And I just had a few observations, and I want to make sure that you're looking at the rubric and that you're understanding what it is that I'm looking for from the deck of the Starship Enterprise. So that's just what I want to cover today. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to take a look at that rubric and just talk about it a little bit. All right. So the rubric basically divides it into 4 questions, and as a teacher, I can go in and I can click on each thing and award the points for those and do that, whatever. But I don't do that, but I do use this. When I'm deciding how many points I give you. The first week I was really nice. Some of you didn't make response posts. Some of you didn't really add much other than your opinion to something, which to some degree is fine, but only to a point. And so I pointed that out when I graded yours, and I gave you an idea that what I'm looking for a little bit more. So let's break these categories down, all right? So the first one is the responses to the questions. The previous instructor, put together 2 questions for every forum, and she wanted you to answer both in separate threads. So the first thing is, when you're responding to those forums, you've got some original thought, and you may have some opinion in there, and you're showing that you get it, right? That you get the main idea. So when we're talking about demonstrating a higher level of comprehension, not just asking you to shoot from the hip, and tell me what you already know about a topic without taking a look at some of the readings and videos, and maybe even taking a look at some outside research and readings, or maybe some things that I tip you off to, and processing that and showing that you've done some reflection based on the new material in addition to what you already thought or what you already knew. If we were just going to measure what you already thought or what you already knew, what's the point of the class, right? Your opinions add value, your experiences definitely add value, but this isn't just about bringing that to the table. It's also about what you learn. So that's the second part of this, which is the knowledge of the content that you actually apply from the readings and the assignments and additional resources when you state your case. So that means that I'm going to expect that from time to time that you are referencing those readings and those articles in what you post in the discussion forum, but I am not all caught up and worried about APA. Do not spend, all your time trying to format and do italics and whatever else because you're concerned I'm looking at APA format. I'm not. I want to know where it came from. Especially if you're quoting something directly, but that's not the point of this exercise. A discussion forum is not a research paper. And I know not every professor is going to tell you that. Well, I'm not every other professor. So yeah, if I have you read, if you were supposed to read 2 articles this week and one of them is by Healy, and you say, well, in the Healy article, there was the section that talked about this, that's cool. I know what you're talking about. You're referring to something that you read. So just give me some indication that you've learned something, that you read something, and that you're responding to the things that you've learned this week. As I said in my introductory video, I fully realize you're probably not going to read every page of every article and the textbook and whatever else, but you should be looking at something. You should be reading something and finding something in there that you connect and that you can react to, because that's hopefully why you're in the class. Critical thinking is the third part, which is, again, comments are pertinent and demonstrated critical understanding of the topic by expanding the issue, bringing in additional resources. Some of you have already done that. One of you brought in, the New Jersey standards for something that applied directly to what we were discussing in week 1. So, yeah, absolutely, man. I'm looking for that stuff. And you're looking for information or providing ideas through asking questions, good questions, challenge things, ask for more information. Absolutely, So then we get to basically the response posts, right? So, let's get away from the, hey, great post, I think the same thing. Let's forget that stuff. I mean, if you're going to say that, great, say it, but then add something meaningful to it. Stimulate and sustain further discussion by building on the responses. Add to it with your experience, with your opinion, with something that you picked up in a reading or a video or another resource. Add to it by maybe challenging in an academic way something that they posted that you don't necessarily agree with. Making an oppositional statement, as it says in the criterion, supported by related research. There was a little bit of, opinion stating in the first forum that probably got a little bit off the topic and maybe even a little bit political. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. We're all adults, right? I mean, we can handle that, but that should not be the extent of what you are posting when you're posting the forums. Now, as you already saw, sometimes I have something, right? Sometimes I got a resource or a question or something that I want to add in, and I'll add that into the discussion forum somewhere, maybe with a new thread. And if I do that, your responses to me in that count as your response posts, right? Like that first week, the video that was about the change management, change leadership. So that's really it. That's what I'm looking for. I think I've told you before, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to validate or invalidate, what you're learning or what you know. This is your journey, and it's about what you get out of it. And quite honestly, I'm an easy grader. I mean, I know I am. I'm just looking for your growth. And I don't even always agree with you. I've replied to at least one of your posts. I don't necessarily agree with you. It doesn't make you wrong. Although usually if you disagree with me, no, I'm not going to go there. Okay. So I hope that helps you understand what I'm looking for. Prove to me that you're learning in addition to sharing, your wealth of experiences and opinions, and engage your classmates. All right. So that being said, then I'm just going to quick touch on the exciting. Hey, man, I'm really jazzed that the president of the college is taking time out to just talk to our class. I hope that we can find a time that a lot of us can be there, because it would really suck if we set up a time and he was there, there's only one or two of us there. So if you haven't yet added your thoughts to that forum, please add your thoughts about what might be a good date and time to do it. And I'm really looking forward to that. Personally, I haven't met him. I don't know him. So we'll equip them with some good questions that we'll be asking, give them a little heads up in advance, and we'll go from there. So if this works, I may do this as from time to time, just kind of responding to the topics of the week or the discussions that we're having. Now, I will say that this particular week's questions, one of them lends itself more towards opinion and the other lends itself more towards research, right? The first question was, in terms of classification, which type of institution appeals to you in your associated role? And that could be a for-profit, could be, whatever. It could be a private Christian, public, four-year institution, community college, whatever. So that one doesn't lend itself as well to a research-based answer. Although you could support a position with research. But the second question, in what ways do key quality indicators influence the institutional mission? I hope you're not riffing. I hope you're not just shooting from the hip on that one, because that one you should be definitely looking into the readings for the week to come up with a well-rounded answer. So, alrighty, very good. I'm back home this week, and I hopefully will be home for a few weeks in a row. So I'll have a little bit more time to remain engaged with discussions and things. So keep up the good work.